Some cities tell their stories loud and clear. Others hide them in old streets, quiet buildings, and forgotten names. In this video, we're talking about 10 U.S. cities with powerful Black history that most people don't know. Did you know Omaha, Nebraska was home to Malcolm X? Or that Tulsa, Oklahoma once had a Black Wall Street? Richmond, Virginia, once the capital of the Confederacy, also built a strong Black culture. From Detroit to Charleston, from New Orleans to Oakland, these cities hold stories of music, freedom, power, and struggle. Stay with us until the end. You might recognize a city, but learn a history you've never heard. If you care about these stories, like and subscribe to support more content like this. 1. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Most people think of oil when they hear Tulsa, but in the early 1900s, it had one of the richest Black communities in the U.S., Greenwood, also called Black Wall Street. It had Black-owned banks, stores, theaters, and doctors. It was a place of success and pride. But in 1921, it was destroyed in one of the worst race massacres in U.S. history. Hundreds of Black people were killed, and the community was burned. Still, Tulsa's Black residents rebuilt. Today, the story of Black Wall Street is finally being taught, but it's still not known by many. Tulsa is a city of both great pain and great strength. 2. Richmond, Virginia. Richmond was the capital of the Confederacy during the Civil War, but it also became a place of Black hope and leadership. After slavery ended, freed Black people built schools, churches, and businesses here. The neighborhood called Jackson Ward became known as the Harlem of the South. It was full of Black-owned shops, music clubs, and banks. Maggie L. Walker, the first Black woman to run a bank in the U.S., lived in Richmond. Today, Jackson Ward still stands, and you can visit her house, now a museum. Richmond's Black history is powerful, but it doesn't get talked about enough. 3. Omaha, Nebraska. You might not expect a big Black history story in Omaha, but it's where Malcolm X was born. His house is gone, but a memorial now stands in its place. In the early 1900s, Omaha's Black community built strong neighborhoods, churches, and schools. They worked hard in railroads, stockyards, and factories. There were also civil rights marches here long before the 1960s. Omaha had Black newspapers and leaders fighting for equal rights. But this history often gets missed in school books. The story of Black Omaha is about leaders, families, and change in a city many overlook. 4. Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston is known for its old buildings and charm, but behind the beauty is a deep history of slavery. It was once one of the biggest slave ports in America. Almost half of all African Americans today have ancestors who came through Charleston. But even after slavery, Charleston's Black community built their own churches, schools, and traditions. The Mother Emanuel Church, where 9 people were killed in 2015, is one of the oldest Black churches in the South. 5. Detroit, Michigan. When people talk about Detroit, they often mention cars or Motown music. But it's also a city where Black workers, artists, and leaders made big changes. During the Great Migration, many Black families came to Detroit for factory jobs. They built strong neighborhoods like Black Bottom and Paradise Valley, full of jazz clubs, businesses, and life. Later, Detroit was a major city in the civil rights movement. Leaders like Rosa Parks and Aretha Franklin called it home. But many of these Black neighborhoods were destroyed by highways and city plans. Still, Detroit's Black history lives on through its music, art, and people. 6. New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans is known for jazz, food, and culture, and Black history is at the heart of it all. From the days of slavery to freedom, the Black community in New Orleans shaped the city. Congo Square was a place where enslaved people gathered to play music and dance, helping create jazz. Free Black people in New Orleans built schools, owned land, and created their own traditions. Even today, the music, Mardi Gras Indians, and Creole culture carry that history. But many visitors don't learn the full story. New Orleans is more than just fun. It's a city shaped by Black hands and voices. 7. Oakland, California. Oakland is known today for tech and sports, but in the 1960s and 70s, it was the center of the Black Power movement. The Black Panther Party started here, working to protect Black neighborhoods and provide food and health care. Oakland's Black community faced racism and poverty, but also created music, art, and activism. Even before the Panthers, Black families came to Oakland during World War II for shipyard jobs. 8. St. Louis, Missouri. Louis, Missouri Street. Louis played a big role in Black history, but it often gets forgotten. It was home to strong leaders, like Dred Scott, whose fight for freedom helped spark the Civil War. Later, Black communities like the Ville became centers for music and education. Chuck Berry, one of the fathers of rock and roll, came from here. St. Louis was also the site of protests for fair housing, jobs, and schools. In 2014, the killing of Michael Brown in nearby Ferguson brought national attention. But Black activism in St. Louis started long before that. This city's history is deep and powerful. 9. Wilmington, North Carolina. In 1898, Wilmington had a strong Black middle class, with doctors, teachers, and newspapers. But white mobs didn't like their success. That year, they carried out a violent attack, burning buildings, killing Black people, and taking over the local government. This event was not just a riot, it was a planned coup. 10. Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham was one of the most important cities in the civil rights movement. In the 1960s, brave children marched in the streets. Police used dogs and fire hoses, and the world watched. The 16th Street Baptist Church, where 4 little girls were killed in a bombing, became a symbol of the struggle. But before that, Birmingham's Black residents built strong communities while facing racism and unfair laws. These 10 cities are full of stories that shaped America, even if they don't always make it into school books or tour guides. They show the strength, creativity, and courage of Black communities across the country. From business leaders to music legends, from protests to progress, Black history lives in these streets, buildings, and hearts. If you've been to any of these cities, maybe now you'll see them differently. And if you haven't, maybe you'll want to. Because when we know the whole story, we see the whole truth.